6 years, we've been working with a rural community in Uganda called Buseesa. The community is made up of subsistence farmers that make less than $1.25 a day. We've been working together with them on a water supply program. So far, we've implemented 4 small-scale water systems, 3 shallow wells, and 1 spring box. And right now, we're working on 4 more projects, 2 shallow wells, a spring box, and a tank added on to the spring box that we already implemented. My name's Erin Cummings, and I got involved with Engineers Without Borders about 6 or 7 years ago because I wanted to use my engineering skill set where it was needed most. Professionally, I'm a water resources engineer at a large consulting firm, and while our projects are really cool and challenging and interesting, all of our clients already have clean drinking water and sufficient sanitation. There's a lot of people out there that don't have that. And that's where our skills are really needed the most.
There are lots of ways I could do volunteer work, but I feel like I'm good at engineering, and with EWB, I get to use my skills and what I like to do, so I feel like I can make a bigger impact.
I wanted to meet other engineers and use my technical skills as well as develop my technical skills in the realm of hydraulics and water resources. The organization is made up of people of all different engineering and non-engineering backgrounds that I have learned so much from, whether it be biomedical, mechanical, structural, electrical.
We have a great team of people that really want what's best for our partner community. We have come from different backgrounds and have different skills, and we all get along really well and have some fun doing it too. I really enjoyed my time on the ground. It was a lot different to actually get over there, work with the community members, and get a feel for how the projects actually get implemented.
I've been helping to lead the project, develop the project, and been on all 5 trips. One reason I like Engineers Without Borders so much is because all the projects are community-driven. So when we started our partnership with Buseesa, we spent a lot of time just getting to know the community, getting to know the layout of the land, and understanding what were their priorities, what were their needs, and we really served as technical advisors to push the project along, but all of the actual projects were driven by the community.
We serve as consultants to the community. We don't just choose a country, barrel in, and decide, hey, you need a water project, install what we feel is most appropriate, and then leave without ever checking in on the community and what their needs are. When we partner with the community, which is for at least 5 years, we develop a relationship with them and solicit input on what their greatest needs are and challenges are that they're currently facing.
We originally made a connection with a school called St. Julie that's run by the Sisters of Notre Dame. We knew that they had a need for biogas, but when we went over to visit for the first time, it became really clear that the community really needed water, and really water at the most basic level. Not clean water, just a consistent supply of it. They're having to walk really far just to gather water, and further during the dry seasons. So for them, step 1 was get a dependable source of water. And step 2, which we're trying to work on now, is make it clean enough to drink. And so when we found out about the need for water, we started working with a group called the Buseesa Community Development Center, which is a microfinance group that is really ingrained in the area, and they're really the biggest institutional leaders. So our work really depends on our partners, the Sisters of Notre Dame and the Buseesa Community Development Center. We work really closely with them and with the communities in order to make it happen.
In 2016, I traveled, and on that trip we implemented a shallow well next to a nearby school. There was a 10-meter deep well with a hand pump to serve the school there and the local community. Prior to that well, they had to walk down the hill, and they were dipping their jerry cans into what we call a scoop well, just a dugout pit. To us, it's muddy water.
We implemented a shallow well that was 30 feet deep using a local drilling contractor and assisted in the design and implementation, pouring of the concrete slab, tying of rebar, working with the community to assemble materials like bricks and stone and sand. We also did assessments for future projects doing surveys of road profiles, water quality sampling for future sites, and using community surveys to find out, are they boiling their water? How many times a day do they make a trip to the pump or to the well? Better data in order to establish more successful projects for them in the future.
I traveled to Uganda in 2017 when we constructed a protected spring and another shallow well. I was the construction lead for the spring box, and since that was our first one, there were a lot of things to work through, changes to the design. Our spring box collects water from underground and protects it from environmental factors like animals, waste, and other things that can get into it, and provides the community with a consistent source of water that's relatively cheap compared to the wells, which require drilling and have mechanical parts. Our plans for next year to implement a tank at this site provides even more water during the dry season and to collect water overnight. We also have plans for potentially adding treatment to the tank. Right now, none of our water sources have any treatment. They still are recommended to boil their water, so we're hoping to be able to improve that for them in the future. It was just great to see how these projects work because they're very different than what you see in the US, where there's strict regulation and things typically go as planned, whereas when you're in a different country, you're relying on people to take you places and show you things, and it provides just great experience for the engineering world and just for life in general.
Asante sana.